Good morning, students. Today we are starting with the last topic of Unit 1 as per your BCA Semester 1 syllabus of Lucknow University, that is concept of algorithm and flowchart. Immediately at the completion of this particular lecture, the next we are going to start with in the next video, we are going to start with C programming, that is the Unit 2. Okay, this is the last topic of computer fundamentals topic, that is Unit 1 of your syllabus. So just be very attentive to this lecture because this is going to form a base for programming that we're going to start from next session onwards. So to start with, concept of algorithm and flowchart. Now when we see a programmer uses various programming languages to create programs, we all know what are programs. Programs are the set of instructions given by a user to a system to accomplish a task. But these programs have to be written in some or the other programming language, maybe C, C++, Java, VB, Basic, whatever language you are comfortable into. But before writing a program, you should be well versed with logic development because your programs are based on logic. How to develop that logic? So that logic is developed and is represented, is the best way of representation of program logic is through algorithm and flowchart. So, but before we actually write a program in a programming language, a programmer first needs to find a procedure for solving that problem, which is known as planning the program. Take an example. Suppose if my task is to make a cup of coffee. How do we make that cup of coffee? Cup of coffee is not made in just fraction of second. You have certain steps to follow. What are those steps to make a cup of coffee? Okay, that you need to follow. You need to take a water, certain quantity of water, bring that water to boil, add a teaspoon of coffee to it if you are liking sugar to it, then add a pinch of milk to it. Okay, then bring all the ingredients to boil for a moment, then you pour them to a cup, then that cup of coffee is ready. So the different steps that I have just narrated, they are involved in making a cup of coffee. So same way, if I say add, give me a sum of two numbers. So you don't get sum of two numbers just like that. You have certain steps to follow. For example, input two numbers from the user, that is read two numbers from the user, then add number one to number two and store the result in the answer. Then display that answer to the user. Then you'll get the sum of two numbers. So there are different steps involved. So this is known as planning. So before we actually write down a program, we need to understand the concept of planning. The program written without proper pre-planning have higher chances of errors. And the tools that are used to plan or design the problem are known as programming tools. So this algorithm and flowchart are nothing, but they are my programming tools. They help me to do the planning of the program that I am intending to write. So they are basically what? They are logic building tools. They give me the logic, how to develop a logic to solve a given problem. So if I talk about the definition of an algorithm, algorithm is a step-by-step method for solving a problem. Its purpose is to break a larger task down so that each step can be carried out without creativity. An algorithm is a well-ordered collection of unambiguous and effectively computable operations that produce a result. So we can say that an algorithm is precisely defined and ordered sequence of instructions that is guaranteed to solve a specific problem. So that was how we define an algorithm. Let's talk about characteristics of a good algorithm. Students, this is a very important question asked in Unit 1 of your question paper. Define an algorithm and enlist the characteristics of a good algorithm. So this is, for theory point of view, your examination, this is a complete answer to it. First characteristic, the algorithm should be of finite number of steps. Okay, that is after starting an algorithm for any problem, it has to terminate at some point. Unending नहीं होना चाहिए. 2, 3, 5, 10 जितने भी steps हो सकते हैं, आप finite हो, that is countable steps में complete होना चाहिए कोई भी एक algorithm. Second, easily modifiable होना चाहिए, that is flexible होना चाहिए approach. There can be number of steps in an algorithm depending on the type of problem. It supports easy modification of steps. Easy and simple to understand. A simple English language is used while writing an algorithm. So algorithm is not a technical part of programming. Programming जो होती है वो हमेशा computer language में होती है. Okay, as I say, C, C++, assembly, Java, जो भी आप use कर रहे हैं, that is computer generated language. But algorithms are always written in simple English, okay, in a step-by-step format. It is not dependent on any particular programming language. आप simple algorithm लिख के उसको किसी भी language में program में उसको convert कर सकते हैं. People without the knowledge of programming can read and understand the steps of the algorithm. So it should be easy. It should be easy to understand. And next, last one is output. An algorithm is just a design of the program. Every program needs to display certain output after processing the input data. So one always expects the result as an output from the algorithm. Means उस algorithm का अगर हम dry run करें, तो I should end up in getting the output. It can give output at different stages. The result obtained at the end of the algorithm is known as end result, and if the result is obtained at intermediate stages of the process of operation, then the result is known as intermediate result. Also, the output has to be expected, as expected, having some relation to the inputs. तो आपके एल्गोरिदम का आउटपुट वैसे ही आना चाहिए. एक अच्छे एल्गोरिदम की पहचान होती है कि जैसा हमने चाहा था, as per my expectation. Okay, so this I've given you an example of an algorithm. As you can see, write an algorithm to find the smallest number between two numbers. Suppose, तो आप देख सकते हैं हमने सारे स्टेप्स, स्टेप 1 2 3 4 5 6 काउंट करके लिखे हैं. दूसरी चीज, मेरा पहला स्टेप इज ऑलवेज स्टार्ट एंड लास्ट स्टेप इज ऑलवेज एंड. तो दिस शोज दैट कि माय एल्गोरिथम इज ऑफ फाइनाइट स्टेप्स, दैट इज 6 स्टेप्स आर देयर. फिर स्टेप 2 में हमेशा जो स्टार्ट करेंगे एल्गोरिथम बाय टेकिंग एन इनपुट फ्रॉम द यूजर. तो इनपुट 2 नंबर्स, लेट्स से ए एंड बी. मैंने दो नंबर्स को नाम दिया है ए और बी. मुझे नहीं मालूम ए में क्या वैल्यू है, बी में क्या वैल्यू है. यूजर जो देगा वो ले लेंगे. स्टेप 3 में हमने चेक करा इफ ए इज लेस देन बी. हो सकता है ये ट्रू हो या फॉल्स हो. अगर ट्रू है तो स्मॉल एक वेरिएबल लिया, उसमें लिख दिया ए, स्टोर कर दिया. और हो सकता है बी इज लेस देन ए. स्टेप 4 में चेक करा तो देन स्मॉल इज इक्वल्स टू बी. और स्टेप 5 में उस स्मॉल की वैल्यू को प्रिंट करा दिया. तो आउट ऑफ स्टेप 3 एंड 4 विच एवर वैल्यू विल बी ट्रू, ओके, तो वो वैल्यू स्मॉल में आ जाएगी और वो हम स्टेप 5 में प्रिंट करा देंगे एज एन आउटपुट. So this is how we have found the smallest of two numbers. Next example, as you can see, write an algorithm to check whether odd or even number. Means एक यूजर से नंबर इनपुट कराएंगे. इसमें भी देखो स्टेप 1 is start, स्टेप 5 is stop. स्टेप 2 में यूजर से इनपुट कराया. इनपुट कराने के बाद चेक करना है ऑड और इवन. तो ऑड और इवन की कंडीशन है इफ द नंबर इज डिविजिबल बाय 2 इट इज इवन, एल्स इट इज ऑड. तो मैंने चेक किया कि इफ a is less than 0, तो then it is odd. Less than 0 नेगेटिव और पॉजिटिव होगा. सॉरी, ये आई एम गिवन अ रॉन्ग एग्जांपल. ये ऑड और इवन नहीं, नेगेटिव पॉजिटिव के लिए होगा. चलो अगर इसको क्वेश्चन को चेंज करें फॉर नेगेटिव और पॉजिटिव. अगर ये ऑड और इवन के लिए करना है तो यहाँ पे we'll be using an operator, that is a modulus 2. अगर a modulus 2 is equals to 0 तो it is even, else it is odd. So that you have to display. और वो मैसेज हमने C में ले लिया, right? So this we can rewrite. This is some problem. Question is correct, but ये question order even का नहीं है. यहाँ पे ये question positive negative है. So just make this minor change. So if the number is less than 0, it is a negative number, or if the number is greater than 0, else so it is a positive number. Loops and repetitions. ये तो sequence वाले हो गए. Conditions and sequence. Sum of two numbers is sequence. और ये if condition use करेंगे तो condition. और तीसरा होता है, ये branching कहलाता है. और तीसरा होता है loop और repetition. कोई काम अगर हमें multiple times करना है, so loop or repetition allows a statement or block of statements to be repeated based on certain loop conditions. While and for constructs are used to represent the loop structure in most programming languages. Loops are of two types, bounded and unbounded, that is finite or infinite. Bounded loop, the number of iterations is fixed, while unbounded में condition has to satisfy. Okay, अनबाउंडेड लूप्स कहलाते हैं. आई डोंट नो हाउ मेनी टाइम्स दिस लूप इज गोइंग टू इटरेट. तो यूजर चॉइस बेस्ड लूप होते हैं. तो ये फाइनाइट लूप है. 20 से 40 के बीच के नंबर्स का इवन नंबर्स कैलकुलेट करने हैं. तो हमने स्टार्ट करा स्टार्ट इन एंड स्टोर 20 इन आई. ठीक, 20 से 40 के बीच डिस्प्ले आई. आई तो इवन नंबर है और हर बारी उस इवन नंबर में +2 कर दो. ऐड 2 टू आई, मतलब आई +2, 20 +2, 22, 22 +2, 24, 24 +2, 26. तो सारे इवन नंबर्स बनाएंगे. ठीक है, हमने इसको ऐड कर दिया. और इफ आई इज लेस देन 40, तो आई की वैल्यू जो निकल आई 22 पहली बार, तो 22 इज लेस देन 40, गो टू स्टेप 3. स्टेप 3 मतलब उस 22 को डिस्प्ले कर दिया. फिर 22 में 2 ऐड कर दिया, 24. फिर इस कंडीशन में चेक करा 24 लेस देन 40, यस, गो टू स्टेप 3. ऐसा करते करते हम 40 तक आ गए. अब फिर हमने 40 + 2 करा 42. ये कंडीशन अब फॉल्स हो जाएगी. 42 लेस देन 40, नो, आप लूप से बाहर आ जाएंगे. स्टेप 3 पे नहीं जाएंगे, स्टेप 6 पे आएंगे और प्रोग्राम विल एंड. So this particular algorithm is going to print all the numbers from 20 to 40 which are even. 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32 ऐसे करके till 40. So I hope working of algorithm is clear to all of you. एक और example quickly we'll see and then we'll end. Flowchart I'll take up in my live session with certain more examples for algorithm. So write an algorithm to import a natural number n and calculate odd numbers equal or less than n. रीड नंबर n, एक नंबर रीड करा, स्टोर 1 इन आई. ओके, लूपिंग के लिए हमने 1 से शुरू करा. डिस्प्ले आई, 1 डिस्प्ले हो गया. 1 + 2 3 आ गया. ओके, n तक के नेचुरल नंबर्स हमें प्रिंट कराने हैं जो कि ऑड है. ठीक है, 1 3. अगर हमने 10 बोला तो 1 3 5 7 9 प्रिंट करेगा और 4 को डिस्प्ले करते करते और एंड कर देगा. अगर n की वैल्यू मैंने 20 बोला तो सारे ऑड नंबर्स फ्रॉम 1 to 20 प्रिंट करेगा. So this is the working of the algorithm. So I hope children the algorithm is clear to you. Flowchart, how to draw a flowchart from a given algorithm, we'll talk about in a live lecture tomorrow. That is the next session whichever we are having. So thank you.